One thing that separates JavaScript from a lot of programming languages is that JavaScript is a dynamic language. What do I mean by dynamic? Well, we have two types of programming languages: static languages or dynamic languages. In static languages, when we declare a variable, the type of that variable is set and it cannot be changed in the future. In a dynamic language like JavaScript, the type of a variable can change at runtime. Let's see this in code. So back in the example from the last lecture, we have declared this name variable and we have set that to a string. So the type of name is currently a string, but it can change in the future. Let's take a look. So here in the console, we can execute some JavaScript code. We have this type of operator, and with that, we can check the type of a variable. So after that, we add the name of the variable, in this case, our name variable. So note that the type of name is a string. Now, if we reassign name to a different value, like a number, and check its type, look, the type is now changed to a number. This is what we call a dynamic language. So unlike static languages, the type of these variables will be determined at runtime based on the values that we assign to them. Now let's take a look at a few more examples of the type of operator. And by the way, note that type of is another reserved keyword, so you cannot have a variable called type of. So we can clear the console by pressing Ctrl and L. So now let's take a look at type of age. It's a number. Now if we change age to a floating point number, and I know it doesn't make sense, but let's just stick to this for this example, 30.1. And then look at type of age. It's still a number. So in JavaScript, unlike other programming languages, we don't have two kinds of numbers. We don't have floating point numbers and integers. All numbers are of type number. Now let's look at the type of is approved. It's a Boolean, as I told you before. What about the first name? Let's have a look. Type of first name. It's undefined. And that's funny because the value of this variable is undefined, but its type is also undefined. What does this mean? Well, earlier I told you that we have two categories of types. We have primitives or value types and reference types. In the primitive types category, we have strings, numbers, booleans, undefined, and null. So undefined is actually a type, but is also a value. In this example, because we have set first name to undefined as a value, its type is also undefined. Okay? Now, what about selected color? Let's have a look. So type of selected color. The type of this variable is an object. What is an object? That's the topic for the next lecture.